walk of a man, sidewalk shining, city lights humming. Every step I take, they know a boss is coming.
Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay! Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
Breadsticks everywhere.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
I'm ADA protected.
Rolling up, I'm feeling fly, yeah, I'm so damn fresh. Got that platinum grill, bringing in the checks. Diamonds in my mouth, shining when I speak. That umbrella guy, flossing speaking geek. Ice on my teeth, I'm dripping so hard. Platinum grills, I'm the king of the boulevard. Throwing money in the club, making haters mad. I'm the baddest in the game, no one gets a pass. Ooh yeah. Crushing all these lines, yeah, I feel fly. Rolling on the dubs, that umbrella guy. Iced out cold on the boulevard. You ain't a comic gangster, don't be playing hard. Ice on my teeth, I'm flying so high. Dropping the bass, that umbrella guy. One drill to rule them all, one drill to bind them. Baby, I'm so iced out, gonna blind them. Rolling in town, I'm an army of one. Doing verbal walk-bys, blazing like the sun. Riding in my whip, crushing false accusers. Dropping off the bass on the real abusers. Yeah. Living life fast, no time for the slow. Justice on my mind, stacking up on that flow. Life in the fast lane, no time to blink. Ice on my teeth, watch it when I speak. Chillin' on my rhymes, never missing a beat. Ice on my teeth, yeah, I'm living that sweet. That umbrella guy, bringing the platinum heat. Crushing every hater, no time for defeat. Ooh yeah.
Ooh yeah, indeed. What's up, folks? How's it going? Welcome to a Saturday edition. That's right, we are now on Saturday. And wow, today took a really interesting turn. You had, I'm going to say just flagrant threats toward Randy. That's right, flagrant threats. You had yet another hit piece that dropped on the lawyers that include Sean Martin and more, because they seem to enjoy quite a bit going after Preston's old lawyers we're going to check those two things out. We also had a morning edition with Ray, which was really fun today. We'll talk about that, in the 10 minutes of silence. We'll also talk about there were two interesting things that happened today. One of them I almost missed, came very close to missing. In fact, there was an account that popped up today. It popped up on Facebook, and I almost missed this. It popped up, and I'm reluctant to say too much about this. Okay, but the way I want to put it is this: there was an account that popped up, and it mentioned a law firm that I very much now think is the law. After looking at it, because it went up and it disappeared. And after this thing popped up, after it popped up, it posted, then it seemed to have reservations. I kept thinking with everything that's been going on lately, in fact, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying it was the ecosystem, but I'm saying, yeah, it looks like something the ecosystem would do, to really try to drive this into Preston. I think they leaked the lawyer. I think they leaked it just long enough that they knew people might notice it. And I did notice it. Now, I'm not putting that name out there. I'm not going to be blamed for it, but I do worry, with all of the stuff that's going on. I worry that the people that get involved in this, many of them, you think about Stark, for example. Stark, he was promised all of these wonderful, shiny things. And at the end of the day, he ended up with crazy people pointing at him. Look at what Sean Martin and Silverman have had. Those two people directly, they are now having people undermine and try to pull their reputations apart because these weirdos, they didn't like the way things went. And it goes on and on like that. And I kept thinking, man, if a place gets recruited into this, many of them will have no idea what the heck is going on, what the heck this ecosystem is, and the weirdos, the felons, and more. Man, I mean, and again, they probably haven't been told about all the wonderful information out there either. There's some stuff, again, just looking at, I was going through some of the stuff that I myself had picked up and thought, man, that's nuts. And it's, compared to the things that I imagine that have been picked up over time, I'm going to say they probably don't know what they're stepping into, and again, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Again, I'm not putting a name out there. I'm just saying I wouldn't put it past the ecosystem to have leaked that name just to start some kind of crazy, because that's how they are, man. Remember, they're not pro Preston. Preston may have somehow gotten an upper hand on some of them, and they came off a little bit of money for a moment. But at the same time, here's something we found out. I didn't think about this the other day. I want you to think back to a subject that is in discussion. It's about the alleged violation of the snow slopes, I'm going to say. Somebody was hitting the snow slopes. That's the allegation. And yeah, you can look at the court documents and stuff here out there too. Well, as part of that, I started looking at the date. It didn't dawn on me at first. There was the date staring us in the face of October the 25th. Did you like that? You like that really slow, reveal? October the 25th. I felt like William Shatner in that. But no, when you think about that, now that date, think about that date for a minute. Now, what does that date pop up real close to? I mean, when you think about things, can you think of something very close to October the 25th that has to do with those specific members of the ecosystem? Think about it for just a minute. And then I'm gonna throw this out there because I didn't think about this yesterday. I'm gonna see if anybody else is on the same wavelength that I am on that. There's somebody that's got it. Money. Yes. Okay. So when was the first barn donation? When did it come in? Does anybody remember? I know this answer, by the way. I don't have to ask it. I'm just asking you because I'm pulling up the thing for it right now. But when you think about it, when was the first barn donation? Here we go. By their own notes, the first barn donation was on the 16th. So 10/16. Okay. Now, that would mean that in 10/16 this year, that would be the 1-year anniversary of not turning over any barn money. Now, isn't it interesting that just 9 short days later, someone allegedly fails the ski slope test, let's just say. It's almost like maybe some people were like, party time, because we got a year behind. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, when you think about that, isn't that weird? No, the 16th is right here. No, it says barn conversion right there, October 16th, barn conversion. That's the first. So it's the one that's missing here. It's funny. He see that right there. Now he may have given money for something else on that date, but 10/16, that's the first time that, again, this is considered, until we have a better, more exact date. This right here is when the money starts to roll in. Again, people have been talking about it quite a bit. So you can see it. It's blurry, I get, because this is not my screenshot. They put this together themselves. This is their admitted stuff. And again, funny enough, only me left that out. In fact, if they were going with the 10/20 date, which only me went with, maybe that'd be a better time to party. Finish the barn, please. When $10,000 rolls in. Again, wouldn't that be something to? Again, I'm not saying it was a holiday, but it does strike me as an interesting one. Again, 1 year and barely any change after. Problems. Again, there's denial, of course, coming up, and I like the fact, by the way, that 2L is telling everyone that they're going to get sued because they brought up those court documents. Which is, like I said, it's very fascinating stuff. I think it's a very interesting discussion when you have a lady that's been saying, "Hey, this person ripped me off, didn't turn over my money, hasn't completed anything," and it's been very public. And then you have all of these very public records that have come up, but they're gonna sue everyone. Okay. And it didn't really happen, and of course, Ray's right down there with the dials. Ray's like, "Oh yeah, you go, girl," because Ray, he likes his felon. By the way, I want to bring something up today, dude. So Ray, he's been on this little kick. This is how the lies work with the ecosystem. This is how they lie. I brought this up yesterday, but they've decided to try to hammer this down. This is Ray's new talking point because, again, garbage human being. I think Ray is one of the worst ones of the bunch, just to be honest. Some people don't think that. I do. I absolutely do. I think that Ray, because the pretend, the game of pretend. Some of these people, like, Paint Chips, Paint Chips ain't a good guy. Paint Chips doesn't come in to be a good guy. He might pretend for a minute to be a good guy, but he damn well knows he's not a good guy. That's not why people bring people like him into something like this. But the moral, the moral pretend, like it just amazes me from some people. I find that to be the most disgusting thing out there. You know, they weaponize, and he's still playing this idea, which I've, like I said, I find gross. He's playing the idea that people are threatening his daughter. You know, they won't outright say it, but it shows what kind of people they are. Actually, I think it shows what kind of people folks like Ray are. Because again, how did this come up? Here's the reality. Let me set this straight. I'm going to set it very straight, by the way. Ray, he decided, and I showed you this yesterday, but I will mention it again. Ray decided that he would mail Megan Fox. He would mail Megan Fox a response to something that Volpe sent that was entitled Revenge Prawn. It wasn't the word prawn, though. It was the actual word. You had Volpe mailing the person that had been targeted with this. And Ray decided to mail them back and be like, yeah, ooh, I'm going to check that out. You know, yeah, I'll check it out. So then Ray gets on his soapbox and he says about this, knowing exactly what's there, he decides to say, it could have been anything. That person could have dropped marbles over and over again. So Megan said, you know what? If it were you or if it were your daughter, you know, if that were the person in that video, would you have a problem with it then? And apparently he does. Apparently he does. The idea, when that comes up, that is a problem. Now, what that tells you is he does very well believe that it's revenge porn. He believes that it's a horrible thing, but only when directed at himself or someone he cares about. That is what we call, in certain circles, a hypocrite. So I thought that would be worth addressing because that seems to be the new talking point there. They're like, I'm under attack because. And it's like, yeah, actually, people call out your hypocrisy. Just like when Hales called out Preston's hypocrisy and said, you know, anyone that accuses somebody of a terrible thing, yeah, they should face the legal ramifications of false accusation. And they were like, oh, he tried to say she'd be armed. And it's like, what? But that's the game they play. All false accusers do this. They do it. Terrible people. They all play that game. So, today you want to see Randy Shockett actually being threatened. 100%, it is a threat. Undeniable, it is a threat. Would you like to see that? Again, see, these people, they like to, they have a lot of mailing behind the scenes. And the mailing behind the scenes, like I have asked 100%, any kind of threat or anything rolls through, just forward it over to me if they leave me out on it. Because I want to see it, and I will talk about it for sure. Now, what I find interesting is, number one, they have taken Ray out of the forwarding. Like if you look, these are a couple of new things that I've noticed. In order to try to give Ray the high ground now, so he can play the victim anymore, they've taken him off of what they used to forward him all types of horrible shit. Now that he's playing the victim, they're not forwarding him anything anymore. But they are forwarding. We told you there was a new member that had come in, somebody that had been making threats and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, they're definitely forwarding stuff to them. Now, this is a paint chips item. Now, I have redacted certain items here because paint chips tries to play the victim while writing and then while making threats. It very much was making threats. He writes the following. Again, there was a picture there. I have taken the picture out and I have taken an address out of this. There was an address right here, and there was this. Again, I've removed that. I removed this. So this was entitled again to Jeremy Hales, Randy Shockett, and process server. You know, he's harassing process servers too. That's their game, by the way. They try to harass a process server to the point that they won't serve them. It's wild. It is wild. And again, courts have allowed them to do this kind of stuff. They've been told that they do these things. And oh well. They've never done anything to them before. So, of course, they get emboldened and they do worse and they do worse and they do worse. So, you're going to have some threats come up right down up in here. But check this out. I have the intent to take up a new residence and am exploring living with an outlaw biker gang while I handle my litigation with you and for protection from you, your alleged hitmen, and your assorted Muppet harassment gang and minions. Yeah, by the way, it's funny that Fats cries about it. He plays the tough guy in emails, but then he's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to pretend that I'm getting harassed. Meanwhile, he's going to make a threat. Absolutely. This is what your internet tough guys boil down to, by the way. Again, little fat man that ran really fast when a server tried to actually give him some papers. You remember that, because they talk a big fucking game, but at the end of the day, they're just losers that someone else would have to put in the work. I mean, ultimately, if anyone is ever going to do harm to someone, it wouldn't be them because they always get someone else to do it. But they say, then, I'm informed that the outlaw biker gang works out of this clubhouse. Again, address, whatever. But then this is where he gets in. Check this. My new biker buddies and I can come out by Pocket Rocket, talking about Randy Shockett's law offices whenever you'd like, so we can meet and confer on the issues under Federal Arbitration Act of 1925. Bikers, they like to show up unannounced. That's a threat. I'm going to have some people show and tune you up. That is what that says. It's absolutely this piece of shit trying to say, I'm going to get some outlaw bikers. Hey, maybe we'll all come by and visit you. But them, they like to show up unannounced. That is a threat. That is absolutely 100% these people threatening the other side's lawyers. I mean, they don't even hide it, man. They don't even hide what they do. I mean, they are just that nasty. And again, judges have allowed them to act like this. They have allowed them they've allowed them to make mockeries of their courts. But beyond that, again, they have allowed these people to threaten anybody that's involved. And, for myself, some of these people won't say, bring it on, but why be afraid of any kind of people like this? I'm not saying they would be, but they try to be scary. They do. Like Fat Boy, he's threatened to drop by people's homes. He's threatened them to catch something to the dome. Again, that's my paraphrasing of his statements. He's threatened all kinds of things, telling people they need to sleep with Glocks under their pillows and more. But I mean, this again, he and his biker buddies, he's probably wearing the chaps because he likes it like that. And again, if that's you, you, if you're not in denial about your life, you live your life however you want. But this boy right here, he definitely is. But he's like, thanks for your attention. Regards. And then it's the paint chip signature. But like I said, this is definitely a threat. Bikers, they like to show up unannounced. Again, how would you determine that it's anything else but, Yes, exactly, William. Bikers don't like people like paint chips who can't fight zone fights. Yeah, but what he's saying is I can rent some muscle. Because what a clown does like this, a clown lives on what happened in the past. See, ultimately, you got to remember what this guy's MO was. This is a very loose term, but he apparently was associated with some mobsters. Now, an associate, as you might understand, those are the people that mobsters shake down. You're not part of their quote unquote family. You're just a useful idiot that they tax. And if you don't come up with the tax, well, they'll hurt you for it. So you got to remember that. But he likes to brag about how he was connected to organized crime. Because if you look back at that huge scam that he was very much part of, there were mob, they were the ones, again, putting in the work. They were making the threats and more. They even threaten to tell you what kind of people these are. And I hope the ecosystem understands this too. These associates that he had, when that associate had money that they could take from them, he also would feed them to those mafia, I'm going to say cohorts. I think that would be the best way to say it. He would feed his supposed pals to those people and have them shake them down for money. That's where one of the accusations about a pew pew being pulled on somebody and then threatened to be, there's more accusations about pew pews too. That wasn't the only one, but I hope the ecosystem understands if the paint chips are ever down, that this boy, he will turn on you. He very much will turn on you. I mean, he's turned on people before. So he would definitely turn on you too. That's why, like, folks like that, it wouldn't have anything to do with. Because ultimately, when you have to pay some weirdo to try to put in something, yeah, you get what you pay for. Now, along with this, we had Volmet decide he was going to drop an article too. And guess what he decided he would drop? He decided he would drop an article that not only goes after, this will blow your mind right here, not only goes after Sean Martin again, but they go after the magistrate in Ohio. The Ohio magistrate. They decided targeting the magistrate, putting their picture in this and going after them, that would be a wise thing. And they tied Preston and them to it with interview, of course. Why would you do this shit? Preston, you realize they just targeted the freaking magistrate here. I mean, you do get that, right? And they tied you to it because at the top of this, they decided to take some, this is an archive. So you'll notice it's frozen. I wanted it frozen on one item here, but they decided to put in 10 minutes of the interview that they had with Preston and Cook before. Not a whole thing. You remember how it went, but they wanted to put in 10 minutes. Now, I do not want to play that for you. I would instead like to show you what was included with a transcript. They even include some of the stuff. What's amazing, what is absolutely amazing when they do this too, is they still keep in some of the stupid, showing that he still doesn't understand what the Violence Against Women Act. He has no idea, like, that goes for not just women, but it goes for other people. Let me pull that up for you real quick, because again, I'll show you what they decided to keep in. It's not crazy amounts of stuff, but they decided, again, as part of targeting Preston's other lawyers. Like, why would you want to pick up with these people? That's why when all this stuff came together, like when I started out talking about, I saw a Facebook account leaking a potential law firm, that when I looked at it, I thought, well, maybe that is, maybe that really is the law firm. I'll be very curious about it. But it came on the day that you have lawyers being threatened by these people. They all get together. They all start threatening lawyers. So wouldn't it make sense? Preston, I hope to God that you don't think that it's smart to target a magistrate. If they're doing this without, it doesn't matter, first of all. Ignorance of their deeds is still you participating in their deeds. I wonder if you've told, by the way, I wonder if you told your lawyer that you participated in interviews where the magistrate they're going to be in front of is being targeted. And I'm curious about that. And in this, they left in parts about how the judge didn't want this talked about. You know, they talk about, again, they cut it down to protective order. You know, you can see there, the CPS, they blame CPS calls on Hales, of course. And they also say that he has a bogus protective order. When did he take that out? Oh, in Ohio, where we've never been. Oh, right. Neither of you were in Ohio. But you did send a letter, and that will be included in the article, of course. That's why I'm mentioning. I'm not going to read every freaking detail of this, because that you'll see some of it there. But you did write a letter to the mayor, not a letter, an email, it says, to the mayor's office. Am I right? And they're like, yeah, unfortunately. And they blame it on this person here, Michael Dean. They're like, oh, man, he was a spy or a, whatever for him. He convinced me that I should write a letter to or an email to the mayor, warning their mayor of what he's done to our mayor and our clerk. Oh, okay. Oh my God. Yeah, December 5th is going to be interesting. It'll be real fascinating to see how all of that comes together. It also, again, it's going to be real interesting to see where money came from. That's again. It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be so much. Remember, they had a lawyer before too. They were very well convinced that Sean would be able to get him out of this mess. The only difference, and again, they dump on Sean. They attack him in this article that I'm going to show you. But the difference in that with Sean, again, what was Sean supposed to do with the stuff that God. It was a train wreck. These people are a train wreck. Again, like I was saying, Lukeman, for his part, the guy that keeps making threats, these idiots that are definitely easily tied to all of this, you can go back and find like Lukeman and John Cook, they're talking about, hey, why don't you come on down? Let's see. They're talking about it's interesting because they're talking about the whole chat that's part of that. See, this kind of stuff is going to come in too. Let me see if it'll lock in on it or if it's going to be stupid. It may take it a minute. Let me check. Let's see. Give me 1 minute. I might have to, like I said, I may have to give it a minute because it's StreamYards, baby. Just give it 1 minute. I'm closing out a couple of things to see if I can free it up, and help it with its little misdeeds. I swear I hate StreamYard some days. The more technology we get and the more we have to rely on, here we go. There, finally, you notice, I know it'll come up. I just have to wait for a minute. So these conversations, I'm sure, will come in, like where you have these people saying, we should all send Germ toupees. We'll give him some mail to open their live streams. Let's arrest him, let's do that. And then you have John Cook popping in saying, hey, Richard, when are you going to come up and visit Otter Creek? There's old John Cook again, 100% old John Cook. And you see them all talking through this and stuff. And then you have Richard here being like, well, John, again, you were talking about a fucking felon here, by the way, just to know, somebody that's, again, definitely made threats towards Jeremy Hales, being like, I want to come, get my number from Bruce and give me a call. I'm waiting on a life-size Jeremy Hale blow-up doll to bring as a prop. Now, again, he'll be like, oh, I'm just telling jokes there. But, when people see that, like this is Cook participating in harassment, it's crazy. And then you go through and you go and look up the videos against like the revenge prawn videos where you have Lynette Preston being like, oh, thanks for covering. Again, you look at that, you have her comment under, again, some pretty nasty videos. And yeah, they'll play real well in court, I'm sure, real well. But anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about. I just wanted to make sure, again, people understand you can draw direct lines to these folks. They keep saying that you can't do it, but you can absolutely do it. It is not difficult at all. And they're discussing together harassment of Jeremy Hales. Oh, yeah, I'm going to come down. Oh, Bruce, he's got my number, because that's interesting. The connection with Bruce as well. Bruce, that they're totally not connected to, by the way, but he's got their number because they're that familiar, and he'll set you up where I can come down and, I can participate in this harassment. It's not like, hey, and again, they can talk to whomever. I'm if they were just talking to a person, whatever. But they're talking about absolutely engaging in harassment. So they talk about then the protective order, going in again. This is the Volpe stuff. Again, I'm hitting the high points. I love how when they read it over, again, it mentions the Violence Against Women Act. It mentions the distance and everything that's in that. And you two have, John has told me he's afraid to speak about Jeremy Hales because he believes that would violate the protective order. Am I right? He was told, yeah. Well, what gave you that idea? Just by the judge saying she didn't want it to appear on the internet. And if we did, there would be consequences. Huh. So that's a lovely clip to leave in, right? I love that. Then as idiots, they're like, no, and the Violence Against Women Act. Hales. How is Hales a woman? That's what they keep going. Is that a woman? I've seen it misused, but never by a man. I mean, this again tells you how stupid they are because they don't understand what that means. Then they take the 10 feet, 10 feet, and with the 10 feet, 10 feet, they play that, again, that's already been included as a violation, and they keep going forward. Again, you can see this was one of my favorite things because they're like, oh man, Jeremy, he drives by our property on a tractor. He's filming side saddle. I love that. I love that. I love that image. I love it. But anyway, I digress. I mean, you can see, again, there's quite a bit. Most of you have heard this stuff. I just wanted to include that part. And I wanted you to understand, like through all of this, it's including these morons here talking about the protective order and talking about how Hales, harassing him. Well, that's not a woman, so therefore it's okay. All right. Now, they do an article attached to this, okay? And this article, again, it is meant to target, let's see who. Ohio attorney's unethical cowardice causes heartache and polymop in Hale's case. So it's the same kind of targeting we have seen before. By the way, you know what I really find funny? You see the like on it, and you see the whatever they call that, restack, I think it is. Can you guess who liked and restacked the article? I'll give you a moment. Who exactly, like if the chips were down, who do you think likes and restacks the first one that does that? Because that always cracked me up. One of the things that people told me from the beginning. Nope, not John. Nope, not like me. Yes, exactly. Select right there. Just Jay. That would have been funny too, actually. Nope, Volpe. Yep. Those of you that said Volpe, that's right. One of the things that I've always told is that, if you're out there, again, if you're out there and, you're just small time in it, you're posting for the enjoyment of posting. You're not trying to engage with people or anything else. You're just out there again, maybe talking to family or you're just posting up something like that. That's okay, right? But it's pretty freaking pathetic When somebody like if I go in and I start liking my own, but that's pretty pathetic, right? Because what it is it's somebody trying. Now, I'm not saying I've never accidentally done something like this, but this is not an accident because they're restacking it and they're like, again, I'm the greatest. Who told me? Well, Paint Chips and me, we tell each other. Oh my God, that's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But look who they attack here too. Look, first of all, they put in the lawyer for Jeremy Hales, Eli Heller. They decide, well, why not kick this off by targeting, first of all, Eli? Why? Well, because they target every other. Again, what's really telling here? They don't just target Randy Shockett or Eli. They target any lawyer that's ever been involved with them. That's why I say, when I saw that come up, like I said, there was a Facebook account, pops up, it drops a name. Again, it was undoubtedly a sock puppet account, but it's the kind of sock puppet accounts let's just say I've seen before from certain weirdos. I'm going to say that. I'm not saying it's them, but I'm saying, well, who would know this stuff anyway? Who would know it? Who would have any access besides, again, someone in the ecosystem? So I feel like they were trying to again, do some damage with it. But again, a law firm came up. I looked at the law firm. I was like, I could see somebody wanting to pick up that specific law firm. I could see, again, I'm not naming a name. I'm not going to do that. But I was like, okay. But I kept thinking, man, is this going to be the next one that they're trying to convince thousands and thousands of people that they took money from them, therefore let us destroy your reputation? Like, if something doesn't go their way, do they understand that their own clients are going to be out there trashing them, and not just trashing them through, say, Google, where they can control everything, but they're going to be trashing them again on many other platforms? Because like I said, they're not just aiming at people like Eli. They're not just aiming at people like Randy, but they're going after folks like Silverman. They're going after folks like Sean Martin. Again, they read an article for it, and they put in Polymop, Bruce's favorite thing, right? Favorite thing. And again, they note that was from the discussion with them on 2025. On December 5th, 2025, John Cook, Michelle Preston will face Ohio magistrate. They named the magistrate once more. Now, I'm just scanning over them. I'm not trying to put any type, again, this is not me trying to put them in the crosshairs. Since October 2023, YouTuber Jeremy Hales has held a protective order against them in Ohio, despite Cook and Preston never stepping foot in Ohio. Wow, again, they have access to the protective order, everything that it states about jurisdiction and why exactly this transpired, and yet they still are like, I don't know why this happened. I love it. Hales failed to get a protective order in Florida, where all parties live, and went to Ohio to forum shop. Did he fail to get one? Is that what happened, Volpe? Is that how it went? Maybe you should talk about what actually happened there. But again, it would be I would be curious if he even knew actually what happened there. Why am I saying you should talk about what happened there? Because he probably doesn't even know. I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to it. Oh man, these people. So the magistrate used dubious evidence, an email to Peninsula, Ohio's mayor's office, as a reason to grant the order. So you can see the Ohio. So this is the Ohio letter, by the way. I'm glad that they put this in. Like, listen to this. This is what they decided to write to harass Jeremy Hales. You tell me, is this harassment? This man has bullied our town clerk into a stroke. He bullied and belittled and humiliated me, destroyed my tortoise rescue with total lies, called CPS with false allegations 7 times, all because I ran for a seat and he thought I might get it over Reese Granger, who at the time was, I thought, my friend, and I had been on speaking terms with Jeremy. Again, friends that they stuck in the bag, right? Friends I thought were there. How many names? I would be very curious how many people actually speak to Lynette Preston anymore. I mean, honestly, I would be very curious about the amount of folks that they think haven't turned on them or, done some misdeed that they blame them out of. I wonder how many people innocent of anything that they've blamed for some terrible thing, because and meanwhile, I always wonder too, when they mention some misdeed by some random person I've never heard of, I always wonder, was that actually some of the people, like maybe their PR that caused that? That hurt them there, or other people that were connected to them. And then they were like, no. Actually, that was that person over there, But I have no clue other than that what happened or why this took such a turn. But you need to see the real Jeremy Hales, not the one he shows you, and everything that he has said about the people in Otter Creek is a lie. Madam Mayor had a reason for getting to be mayor. They were not following the laws in Florida for the EPA. They're not following the laws under zoning and permitting. And so now they've given themselves. Imagine you get this, by the way. Not only does this look like harassment, but what kind of just ridiculous shit is this? Like, what does this mean? I'd be like, what? Besides saying that Jeremy Hales is some kind of monster, what does the rest of this mean? By the way, I appreciate over 2,000 of you. Again, thank you. You spend your weekend here. It has been a very interesting day. I decided, by the way, I would go out and see how those weekend Black Friday shoppers, because Black Friday lasts the whole weekend these days. I wanted to see how they would be, and I took the girls to Murfreesboro. That's where they wanted to go. They wanted to go out. There were a couple of things they wanted to see and do. The little one had a crazy day yesterday. She ripped her shirt, like I told you, her brand new one. So I wanted her to have a better day. So we went out and we goofed off. It was kind of it was kind of chaotic, just to be honest. I was kind of surprised by it. But anyway, let's continue here. So they'll give the vice mayor a permit that he needed, that he was not getting from the county and from administration, because he wasn't following the rules and literally stealing a plot of land for someone else. And now Miss Granger is under investigation in our town for not following sunshine laws and for doing bad things. All in my opinion, of course. But once you see the video, you will understand. Wait, did you just cut it off? Did you just cut that off? That's kind of some duplicitous garbage, man. If you're going to put in a quote unquote email, why not put the whole email? See, this is one of the things I hate from these idiots. I'll cut certain things out of stuff. I'll cut some words out of something, or addresses, because I have to, But when I show you a mailing or something, I try to at least put it all up on the screen or a transcript of something to show you exactly what's happening. These idiots, man, they do stuff like that. They said the email. No, it looks like a piece of the old email. Let's see. But then they were like, well, for approximately the last year, the man primarily responsible for the Ohio protective order farce is attorney Sean Martin. So they decide they're going to again look. They link Sean Martin's website into this. You can see the link. Again, this is an archive, but you can see where they linked it in there. You can see that they actually give his breakdown, which I'm not going to go over and everything. Again, this 100% is meant to damage. What they're trying to do, they put out more and more articles about these folks too, because ultimately what they want to do is they want to create some SEO, search engine optimization. They're trying to make it, when people look up Sean Martin, they find hit piece articles. Although I would say if you're going to write a hit piece article and try to optimize it for the rando out there, maybe, just maybe, don't use stupid made up words like polymop, because a random person is going to be like, well, what in the stupid garbage is that? They're going to be like, is this some kind of identity thing? That's what it sounds like, doesn't it? Polymop. Every time I hear it, I think, man, it's a mop that identifies, it likes mops and it likes sponges. I don't know what that's supposed to mean as a rando. If I ran across that, I'd be like, what in the garbage crap is this more? What does this matter? Martin was initially introduced to Hales when he appeared with Bruce Manskin, who previously represented Cook and Preston on Dave Helm's YouTube show. Oh, man. Yeah, there's oh my God, these idiots. Martin learned as a result of the show that Preston and Cook had a protective order in Ohio where he was licensed. Helm would later be sued by Hales. Martin volunteered to take on the case. Didn't they say they paid him quite a bit of money? Didn't they say that? Didn't they come out and say that like not too long ago? By the way, this is a thing too. So somebody was saying, it was Ray, by the way, that was saying that these people, they have not had, one second. Give me 1 minute. I got to look up something. So somebody sent me an interesting email, and I liked it. You know who you are, by the way. Just a viewer, I will say. But they noted something. They were talking about money. We always talk about the amount of money that has been picked up from the barn and from all these other things. But Ray was talking about how Preston and Cook, they were somebody that was totally easy to pick on. They were easy targets because they don't have money. They don't have money to fight. And as somebody pointed out, how much money has been going to lawyers and more? When you look at Silverman, for example, didn't they give Silverman over $7,000? Wasn't that? I keep thinking it was higher than 7, like it was 7 plus. So, it wasn't just 7, it was 7 plus. Give me 1 minute. One second here. The girls, they're playing. They tell me, hey, we're playing video games today. They just slipped me a note. Hey, we're getting along. We're playing video games. I was like, okay, that's cute. So there's 7 plus for Silverman. There's what, $6,000 or so with a Stark. $6,000 for an Ohio attorney. $6,000 for a bankruptcy. $6,000 for a new Ohio attorney. Now, there's also all of that moolah they talked about for the handwriting expert, where they talked about, actually, according to the numbers that were posted, it was well over $10,000. We had Volment in the gang wanting over. I've got a grater. Give me a second. Hey, kiddo, how's it going? What is that? Oh, a screwdriver. Yeah, thank you.
It's a lockpick.
It's not a lockpick.
I unlocked Sissy's door with that.
Yeah, you can unlock Sissy's door, but this is not actually a lockpick. That's so funny. So Sissy has she has a handle with right beside it. You know those old style ones that have a little screw there, and you can unlock the lock on it just with something easy and flat. So she just brought me a little screwdriver, a little flat-headed screwdriver, and she said, "That's a lockpick."
That's a lockpick for Sissy's door.
You want me to hide the lockpick for you?
Yes.
Okay.
So every time
Look,
when we need the unlocked Sissy's door,
Okay,
we get
look.
that.
I put your lockpick right there. Okay. I won't tell anybody you have it. Okay. How's that sound?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I meant best good.
Huh?
I meant best good.
Best good. Okay.
With this yellow height.
Yeah. People are saying, hey, there's something you love. You know?
6, 7.
Yeah.
You're putting 7s, but you're missing the 6.
You look at all those. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. But if you put numbers in, you put.
I didn't know you had lock picking skills, by the way.
Yeah, you just have to turn it left until you hear a ding. Like a ding.
Oh, it dings. Yeah.
Like a little ding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You hear the pop where it loosens. Yeah. I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's perfect. Okay.
That's ours. Who are you texting?
I'm not texting anybody. I was just checking. I thought somebody might have texted me. I get messages the whole time while I'm sitting here. Yeah. Did y'all play some video games?
Yeah, I was messing around stuff, and I brought something to my room, but I took it back for her.
Okay.
But next time when I come in there, I'm taking most of her stuff.
Is she? You're taking her stuff. What?
I'm gonna take the toys and the stuff. There was something in her room.
You're just taking it. Her room was a mess, wasn't it?
Yeah. So.
Oh man. So she doesn't even notice it. You're probably doing her a favor, right?
Yeah. I'm taking the toys. I'm taking the toys.
You are.
Yeah, because the toys maybe have things under it.
Yeah.
And I don't want. And I love toys.
Oh, I see. So you're just picking up the toys and helping her move it so she can find what's under it. I see. Yeah, that's some good thinking right there.
Yeah, because what is trash under the toys?
Oh man, what if there's money?
About the money?
Yeah, what if there's money? Yeah, Laura. Hey, I'll answer that in a minute too. Yeah, I see your question there. Oh man, who is this, by the way? Is that the floopy cat? Hey, don't scream. She was excited. She saw the floopy cat.
She should have shown me the cat.
Oh, I shouldn't have showed you. It made you too excited.
No, you should have.
Oh, I should have. Okay. Yeah, that was the floofy. The floofy said, "The overlord send greetings." Floofy saying hi.
Hi back.
Hi back. She was excited.
And thanks for the money. And thanks for the money, Floofy.
Yes, thank you, Floofy. That was very nice.
The Floofy cat.
Yeah, she likes the floofy cat. You like cats, right? We actually went by the pet store today and we looked at. We're not getting a pet there, but you know.
Yeah, and we have a snake.
Yes,
Say
we have a
hi
snake
to
too.
Cold Slither.
Yeah, we named it Cold Slither. That's right.
Why did you not turn the night light?
I forgot. I'm letting him roll around right now. Look, he's exploring. So we'll let him explore for a minute. You can turn the nightlight on if you want to. You want to? Hey, by the way, look, check this out. What's that number?
20.
That's 20. That's right. Can you say thank you, Tracy?
Thank you, Tracy.
That's right. She said that's for lip gloss. $20, man.
I needed a bunch of lip gloss. Hey, look, you need a new lip gloss, but you don't.
Did the light come on? Oh, there you go. Good job. Good job there. That was amazing. You did a good job. All right.
I want the most of the lip glosses. You know why? Because if you have more lip gloss, then what if you want to try a different one?
No, that's true. That's true. It's
I like the lollipop one. I use it all the time, but I'm trying to find the perfect one. Which one looks the best for Christmas?
I don't know. You could try out different ones if you want. You know, I bet you have some Christmas brand ones. Hey, check that out. Isn't that pretty? Look, it says candy money, and look at all the hearts. Can you
It
say?
has the rainbow in yellow.
Can you say thank you to Andre?
That is my favorite because yellow.
Yeah, your favorite color is yellow. That's all right. Hey, you want to come here and give me a hug real quick? I got to continue. I got to get my stuff done. You know, you want to go get some sleep? We had a busy day. We've been going all day long. Did you have fun today?
Yeah, and we missed something. We missed the ices and the candy.
I know. You know why we didn't go over the ices though?
Why?
Because it was just crazy over there, so we couldn't get into that little area. That's why we didn't go over there. That's because we parked at the bookstore, remember?
Yeah, but we
couldn't get into the thing though. Like it was just crazy over there. But we'll go over there when it's crazy. And we'll go over and probably see Santa and get some pictures over there.
Yeah, because it's almost
It's almost Christmas. I know. Christmas.
Wait a minute.
No, you can take a couple of these. These are they're index cards. Here, you want a few to write on?
Yeah.
Why don't you draw on them? Here.
Yeah,
take some.
Thanks, Dad.
Yep, take them with you.
I'll tell you when I want out.
Hey, don't take my marker though. No. You're not taking that marker. What happened to all the pens you had upstairs? Don't you have you had a whole box full of pens? What'd you do with them? Don't tell me.
Gigi knocked them over one time and I'm trying to follow them.
Gigi did. Oh yeah, I bet.
Remember that time?
No, I don't remember that time.
That was when her came over.
Yeah,
one time.
I remember her coming over, but I don't remember Gigi knocking anything.
Because you weren't there.
Oh, I see. There you go. Hey, DeFloofy sent 2 more. Can you say thank you?
Thank you, Floofy.
Yeah, and Floofy said that you cheered all of them up. That's great, huh? Yeah, you like cheering people up, don't you? Yeah. All right. Well, hey, you go upstairs. Go have fun. Hey, you don't have to go to bed yet, but you can go watch the show since we got in. Okay, you can go watch it.
We done with the show and how happy.
All right. Well, you can go watch your show for a little bit. Are you ready for bed?
No, Sissy hit me 2 times, but don't tell her I told her.
What? Why are y'all fighting? Why are y'all messing with each other like that?
Don't tell I told her.
Oh, okay. I have a feeling you're just down here narking. What's she going to tell me you did to her?
I think who's going to say her didn't do it.
Oh, she's going to tell me she didn't do it, huh?
And don't tell her I said that to you.
Okay, all right. Well, go upstairs, go.
Oh, yeah, you find it.
Oh, yeah, I never heard a thing. Okay. I'll say I never heard anything. I close the door, okay? Love you. What a nut. She's like, Sissy hit me on the leg. What is Sissy going to tell me you did to her? She's going to probably say she never did anything. I see. They are so funny. They are so crazy. Let me wait my monitor back up here. Okay. Yes. So the question was exactly who Sean Martin was. Yes, Sean Martin, the YouTuber. Yes, many of you might know him. And again, everyone is, here's the thing you got to remember. No matter what, everyone should have a lawyer. They should. They should have adequate counsel. It doesn't matter if I dislike that. Again, unless Lips took it too far and threatened me way too many times. So, yeah, I got involved in making sure that a lawsuit went against her, for sure. But for myself, I don't consider myself part of litigation because you're not. See, that's the problem a lot of the ecosystem weirdos get involved in is they didn't cover, like they say, oh, we covered. No, some of you raised $100,000 you didn't turn over. You went after people's businesses, all these other things. They didn't just stick to covering things, talking about what's there, even things that people might not want to talk about, but they went further and tried to damage. They chose to become part of the thing. So for myself, I understand, like with a lawyer, everybody can, You know, if they get a lawyer, they get a lawyer. But yeah, Sean wasn't able to. They did a lot of. Let's just say it this way: they did a lot of damage to self in a lot of this stuff. They've already provided mountains of evidence. So we'll see. We'll see how things work out. You know, I think it's insane that these folks may try to do harm. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, like it disturbs me that they will ultimately, the ecosystem, they will take aim at every lawyer that ever, ultimately, every one of them will have a bullseye, including Bruce. He's got to know, man. They all turn on each other eventually. But here's here's the wonderful stuff with with Sean. They spoke to Preston about Sean's representation. The audio is below, and as far as Sean is concerned, what do they decide to put in there? Quote, he did nothing. Now we heard about this again. We oh Lord, we heard this stuff before too. It's amazing. Again, they decided at the end of the day, taking aim at Sean that'd be smart. Sean, again, Sean may not be able to go after his clientele, but all these other idiots that have tried to stack up and go after him, they're not going after, remember this, they're not going like some internet squabble and trying to talk trash. They're going after Sean's reputation. Like that's the kickier part of it, you know? They decided, hey, it'd be fun to target the guy and to target him where he lives, where he earns money. Because that's the kind of people that you're dealing with. It amazes me. Everybody. Again, I hope that any lawyer that ends up mingling with them, I hope they understand what they're getting into. I think it's bad. It's bad business. It's bad news. But it says he came on shortly before Cook and Preston faced a bogus contempt of court charge. The charge, it stems from an incident at a town hall in which Hale's girlfriend, George, claimed that Michelle had gone to a town hall also attended by George. Michelle told me that while she attended the event, she never interacted. It doesn't matter if they interact, you moron. Good God, this disturbs me. You don't have to interact. It is a spacing issue. You have X amount of feet that you are allowed to be within a protective order. If you do not relinquish that, you are in violation. It doesn't matter if they interact at all. Just being there and knowing that person is there. Once you find out that they are there, you have to leave. Or you have to exit that amount of footage, let's say. That's our protective order. It's disgusting. They're like, well, for contempt, they didn't actually come up and physically interact. No, they just thumb the freaking decision. And I've seen the video for that. They knew that the people were there. They have come to go into a town hall. You have George that wants to go inside, and you have the people that she has a protective order against standing right there in front, impeding her ability to walk inside. I'm not saying they're blocking it. I'm saying she has a protective order against them. They talk about fear all the time. She didn't want to go through there with them, and she doesn't have to. That's how it works. And they damn well know it. But again, it must be nice to get paid by people so you don't ever have, you can be this freaking disingenuous. It would disturb me to be this disingenuous, knowing. I mean, can you imagine knowing how a protective order works, and yet you do something like this? It just grosses me out. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me continue. They're so dumb, man. They are the worst spin. They're worse than 2L. At least 2L manages to like spin. I mean, they're all liars, but what it is, at least 2L when they spin has been able to take some of the worst shit I've ever heard. You know, all that crap, slurping and all of that, and still turn that into being able to go and get money and do other things. These idiots, they have to retweet and like their own posts. I mean, that's kind of nuts, right? That's kind of nuts. I think it's kind of crazy. Let's continue here, though. So, she says that Martin failed to present any evidence telling her that it was the other side's job to prove their case. Only, Michelle told me, George then presented video evidence that went unchallenged, and Michelle was found in contempt. Oh my God. Michelle said that Sean Martin also refused to file anything to challenge jurisdiction, given that she didn't live in Ohio. She said that Martin told her that the issue was already decided it would be her way. It had been decided. Holy shit. It's already been decided. When you're talking about a violation of a protective order, it doesn't matter. Oh my God, it makes my brain hurt. These people, man. Oh, Lord. That's so bizarre. Then, earlier this year, Martin deserted his client after Manskin sent Hale's Ohio protective attorneys, Eli Allen and Tad Hoover, a letter warning them not to destroy evidence. So he writes them again. They put up another one, and he writes them another clown thing. This is why they're saying, well, he didn't want anything, because you think about it. This is the letter. Like you imagine being counsel and someone sending this over to opposing counsel. Dear counsel, I represent MP and JC in current civil litigation in Florida federal court filed by Jeremy Hales. Your client is an Ohio protective order against Preston and Cook. This is to place you on notice that the actions of your client in procuring a fraudulent protective order from Ohio court to use harassment and to generate YouTube content will be the subject of federal court litigation. You must preserve all electronic evidence, including all privileged communication with Mr. Hales in the form of email, blah, 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 blah. I anticipate motions seeking to apply the crime/fraud exception to discover communications between you and your client. This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, by the way. Sean Martin had to look at this and be like, oh my God, why would you do this? As his actions, including the vexatious Ohio court filing, are in furtherance of Hale's cyber stalking for entertainment and profit enterprise in violation of blah, blah, blah. You already hoodwinked the court once about 10 feet incident that Hales purposely instigated. I'm at a loss for how the magistrate rewarded such abuse rather than warning your client against weaponizing the PO or vacating it on the spot, and without warning you against vexatious filings to harass the respondents by weaponizing the PO. Continuing to pursue specious motions for contempt will result in claims against your firm. In case you claim not to realize Hales' abusing litigation, attached here is a sworn affidavit submitted by his Florida counsel, Randall Shockett. Paragraph 19 was included specifically to mislead the federal court about, quote unquote, minimum amount of contrary, which has already been decided, by the way. That was already referred to. The magistrate was like, you know what? Even if you were right about that, even if you were right, it was at the time of, not when a claim potentially gets removed. So this was intentional perjury suborned by Shockett. If there were quote, online posts calling me a child, as Hales swore under oath, you would have included them in filing in support of protective order. Please advise if you're in possession of any evidence of such online posts calling me a child that show Hales didn't commit perjury. Now, Martin claims that this letter creates a conflict for him. Only in emails, he never explained why. Gee, you don't have to be a freaking rocket scientist to understand why maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't want that there, you know? Oh, man, is it Michelle's birthday? We'll give her a birthday song, of course. Happy birthday! My precious. My precious loves his birthday. Okay, all right, I'm stopped. Oh my God. Oh Lord, that was. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Yes, we will give a song though. Okay, let's continue. Give me a second. Okay, Bruce. This is to address multiple issues that have arisen in the immediate past that affect my representation of our shared client, Preston and Cook. It has come to my attention through the internet and other parties that you have contacted, again, the Ohio attorneys with a preservation letter. Why was I not contacted before you engaged with opposing counsel in Ohio? Yes, because, you know, Bruce doesn't practice in Ohio, by the way. He's interfering there, and he's like, why wasn't I need to be kept in the loop if you're going to communicate with parties in case of which I'm counsel of record. Your preservation letter was needlessly inflammatory toward counsel by accusing them of proper conduct, not to mention your view of court rulings. The entire PR campaign you have been attempting to coordinate attempting to rather orchestrate for our clients is the embodiment of tilting at windmills. All is accomplished so far in the name of generating good PR is to make all of us look ridiculous. That's right. It's ridiculous. That's right. Half the parties in this entire saga are turncoats. They go back and forth leaking the information, whichever side is the subject of their anger. We are now at the point where you lament about, wait a minute. Did they mean to take this out? Oh my God. Did they mean to take this out? Is that why it's shaded like that? Because listen, we are now at the point where you lament about being mocked on the internet by third parties in your court filings. I made it previously clear my objections to your discussions of trial strategy and goals in a public setting. I share my stances and thoughts with you because we share common clients and out of a sense of collegiality, garnering, and then it cuts off. God, I want that letter. Oh, here it is. Public support does not offer us any help in achieving our clients' goals. We should be speaking through our filing, not live streamings on YouTube. Yes, that's exactly it. See, Sean gets this. Look, you know what Sean has never done? Sean has never tried to step up and be like, hey, Tug, hey, Megan, shut up. You know why? Because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you were look, Sean in this mess was boring. And that's how a lawyer should be. A lawyer should be boring. His file, if he filed something that I was like, oh, spicy, baby, I would cover it. I may disagree with it. I may agree with whatever. But I'd be like, that was something that was sassy. Or they bring up a good point. We talked about one of the lawyers in Fed 2. We said, hey, this lawyer right here, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to. You notice that too. You notice while Bruce does all of this alarming shit when it comes to LP and JC, you notice he doesn't have his lawyer doing that. Have you ever stopped and paused and thought about that? Like, his lawyers aren't out here acting the clown like we have seen with LP and JC. Like, ultimately, the people that LP and JC surrounded themselves with, that they can, again, we know because of the ecosystem themselves that Cook communicates with 2L all the time still. We because of filings that happened behind the scenes in Florida, emails behind the scenes that included filings in Florida court. We know Bruce was still in the game, even though he's not supposed to be their lawyer, and on and on and on. And everything, again, we have paint chips and these other idiots that they involve, and they don't do favors for these folks. They don't. They absolutely are not doing favors for these folks. If they wanted to talk about, I would even go as far as to say, if they wanted to do an interview talking about, say, the Fed cases, and they didn't have protective orders against them, or they were careful about how they talked about a Fed case. You'd have to be careful about what you did, but maybe. But it doesn't stick to that kind of stuff. What they do is they want to go immediately to the protective order. These people that are interviewing, and 100% they're doing it, and it's damaging. It can't be helpful. Let's just say that there is no way, shape, or form the stuff that we've seen from idiots like this that help. And I love that in here, Bruce is being told too. One of the things he hates is being told that he's wrong. But he's like, hey, why are you lamenting being mocked on the internet in your filing? Why are you bringing this up? The internet becomes worse when you say that. Laughing at clowns. You can totally look at a filing and be like, what an idiot. You totally can do that. I know they don't like that idea, but you totally can do that. Oh my God, I love it though. Further, your actions with Michael Volpe have led to additional frustrations. Your willingness to engage with and support him have led to the disparaging of opposing counsel, as well as baseless allegations that the magistrate is corrupt. I feel compelled to remind you that Northeast Ohio is the geographical area where I practiced and built my livelihood. Yes, that is exactly right, too. If I were a lawyer involved in this, I'd be like, look, the whole, apologies for my wording, but you don't shit where you eat. You don't do that to somebody else either. There's a decorum in it. Like if your counsel with the other... Oh my God. You don't try to ruin this other person's ability to practice in an area. I would never contact people's freaking jobs and try, like these people, they try not to bring up something here that they have absolutely gone after sponsors. Oh God, the stuff they've done, man. Platforms trying to get people banned. Dang, Jesus wept. And it backfires on them and they end up getting themselves banned. I mean, oh Lord. I don't wish banning on any. I tried to tell like Volpe, I was like, dude, you're going to get banned for these idiots and yourself and the actions that are going on. You're going to get banned on that platform, man. Your monetized channel is going to go up in flames. They just don't listen. They just don't listen. I'm watching my my freaking snake over here. I got him some some new stuff for his tank today too. And he seems to like it quite a bit. He's very active today. They're like, heck yeah. Anyway, let's continue here. I make no apology for the tone of this email. Your actions are only making things worse for our clients and potentially myself, and I can't sit by idly anymore. Miss Preston and Mr. Cook have every right to retain you, but I am experiencing a significant breakdown in my ability to represent our clients and for the professional responsibility concerns that are being introduced in this situation. If you'd like to discuss things further, please feel free to contact. He's telling, look, they're like, well, he doesn't mention why these things are a problem. Really? He's like, dude, look what you're doing where I live. It absolutely says that. It tells them, look, you're acting like a clown. You're threatening people, you know. You're telling them, I'm coming after you. We're going to ruin you. You're accusing them of stuff that I mean, again, based on what? It's ridiculous, you know? He notes again what's there. He's like, you know, he had said, I'm experiencing a significant breakdown in my ability to represent our clients. Emphasis, mine, except Martin never did any representation, so his words are hollow. Michelle told me she remembers a different reason. She remembers Martin telling her that he was getting heat from other lawyers. He was probably also getting heat from the YouTube campaign that Jeremy Hales created. No, Martin, a YouTuber, likely didn't want to upset his YouTube friend. It's like Megan Fox and Doug. Yeah, Sean Martin doesn't give a shit about upsetting anyone. I tell you right now, like if Sean felt like it, again, if he wasn't bound in with this case, he would 100% argue, and he's totally fine with arguing and talking smack. He's okay with it, you know, and we're all big kids, you know. For myself, I'm okay with it. You know what I would never do, like these people do. I would never like if Sean came up and said something and made an actual point that I was like, oh shit, you know what I'd never do, like these people would do. I would never try to harm the guy's reputation outside of this. Is, you know, that's crazy. This guy, again, was supposed to be working as a colleague, and he brings in idiots like this to try to torpedo. And Volpe's, you know, he's got his party panties in a twist, because ultimately this part about Volpe is in here, and he didn't like it. And Bruce, being the piece of shit he is, of course, leaked this because that's the kind of person he is. Also, I'm going to guess that when all of that came up, I am going to guess that ultimately you have never mind. Sean, I'm the man. Some of these people might motivate Sean one day. And if they did motivate him, again, you know, you can compartmentalize too. Like what these idiots, they think you have to do is, in order for Sean to represent those, he has to tolerate all this bullshit from them. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I didn't have to tolerate this bullshit from these people. And look, you know, Michelle Preston had to be okay with either, well, there's one of two things. Either Michelle Preston had items leaked about herself and her lawyer by Bruce Manskin, or she signed off on it, one or the other. And judging from her commentary, I'm going to say she signed off on it. Again, why would another lawyer want to come into this game? Do they understand what they're getting into? You know, do they? What a messed up man. Martin is a coward, in my opinion. His withdrawal likely violated several Ohio rules of professional conduct. Oh no. Oh no. His withdrawal, he can't leave us. We can treat him like shit and he is never going to leave. The rules require the lawyer to give their client enough time to find new counsel, which Martin didn't do. Quote, as part of the termination of representation, a lawyer shall take steps to the extent reasonably practicable. So again, let's leave out that part right there. To protect the client's interest. The steps include giving due notice to the client. He's allowed to walk away. Allowing reasonable time for employment of other counsel, delivering the client all papers and property to which the client is entitled, and complying with all applicable laws and rules. Man, the rules state, and Martin violated this rule. So again, they're talking about suing Martin. They've been talking about it forever. That'll be interesting. I'm sure that Sean will. You think about this. All right. They've already sued one lawyer, right? Bruce himself has sued one person. They're talking about suing Silverman. They're talking about suing Sean Martin. Sooner or later, again, I can only imagine how Lynette's going to react to certain things that I think will happen in this. If they don't go her way, let's say, and I don't think they will, she's going to want to sue Bruce too. So it's this insane threats. Why would any lawyer want to participate in this mess with these people? But of course, I'm sure they don't know anything about that. It'll be interesting. Again, Silverman had no idea, did he? He had no idea whatsoever. He thought the worst thing that could happen to him would be that some discussion that he had with opposing counsel would be leaked, which it wasn't, by the way. And what really did happen, though, is these people targeting his reputation, threatening him, and all kinds of other stupid. Now, furthermore, he withdrew just as an order on another contempt motion was coming down. By withdrawing when he did, he left his clients in lurch. They couldn't appeal. He's declined to comment on the case when I've reached out numerous times, further showing his coward. Now, maybe, here's an idea, dipshit. Maybe it's what you're not accustomed to. Professionalism. You notice the only lawyers that seem really to want to step into that and make comments. There's been one that, well, let's just say they're no longer a lawyer. And then there was another that, well, let's just say they're no longer a lawyer. Then there's another that, well, let's just say they're being sued right now for all kinds of crazy. Yeah. The other lawyers seem to be avoiding. Now, Hales and his two attorneys waited until the protective order was nearly expired to file a frivolous motion to extend it. Oh, no. Now, again, they have posted the other stuff, which, here's your question. Who did they get this from? Who did this come from? I can tell you who I think it came from. I would say that it either came directly from LP or JC, or they gave it to a certain party, and that party gave it to these idiots. But they didn't find it on no docket, like they tried to say there. Now, the extension argues that others continue to say mean things. Is that what that is? I think it's arguing something else. It ain't about, quote unquote, saying mean things. Although you might even argue that saying certain types of things would be a violation of protective order if somebody's putting you up to it. As such, it needs to be extended. Any competent lawyer can argue against this fearless motion. Only Martin's cowardice left Michelle and John without a lawyer. Michelle and John were able to hire a lawyer. Our attorney, last minute, December 5th hearing, shocking hell. So shocking. Oh no. Oh no. I actually don't think that's shocking at all. What I think happened, and I've talked about it, is going to be very funny. Because what I think is you might have just really screwed up with some other cases. We will see. But I am shocked that a certain person potentially coughed up money. But no, I'm not shocked that the people that are the main circle, I'm going to say, within the ecosystem coughed up money. I would have been shocked if supporters, just randos out there, would have paid $6,000 more. If that would have happened, that would have shocked me. But am I shocked that that those clowns, that they ended up having to cough up something because, well, like I said, I think they didn't do it out of the goodness of their heart. Maybe Michelle scared them. I hope that's what it is. It could have been a few things, but I mean, Michelle has a legit claim against them. She does. Maybe they decided to placate her. I mean, again, it's been over a year. Well over. Maybe they're hoping that, a few K and the drop in the bucket will placate her. We'll see. We'll see how it plays. But you see this again. Here's yet another freaking article attacking another lawyer that is involved in this mess. They never stop, man. They never stop. It's you got to admit it's entertaining though. It's entertaining, but it's crazy. Now I do think it's really messed up that, again, like with the Randy stuff, they're targeting opposing counsel. They're trying to threaten or do harm to them. Because I mean that's so strange. Like, you have some people that are again, they're part of litigation, and they know they're making threats. So you have a guy that, again, he absolutely knows he's being sued, and yeah. What's up, kiddo? I hear you. What you doing? Hey.
Why are you at the stream?
Huh?
Why are you at the stream?
I'm fixing to talk about super chats. What are you doing?
Oh, I was watching my TV.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fixing to go over the super chat parts.
I love the super chat parts.
Well, you can't go over some of it, though.
I'll listen to the ones that I can.
No, well, we already went over the ones you can. Or you want to watch some TV a little bit?
Like what? Like Nightmare 4?
No, I was thinking about maybe watching some of that Stranger Things. Give me that. That's my note for myself. What? You don't want to watch that?
Hey.
Well, you have a TV. You don't have to watch that. I was just thinking about watching it myself.
No, let's watch it together, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you go upstairs for a little bit? Let me get through with this, okay? And then
It was the super chat for me. Ooh.
I went over the super chats for you when you were down here, remember? Yeah. I went over them. But I've got some that'll have questions I need to go over, okay? All right. You go do your thing for a few minutes. And then,
If I can read, I can read.
yeah,
If I can't read, I can read out.
yeah,
If I
well,
could read, I'd read.
yeah. Well,
You know
one day when you get all situated, one day I'll have you help me, okay?
With that.
Yeah, we'll have a friendly one that you can go through, okay?
The friendly one?
Yes, yeah, of course. You don't want the ones that are not appropriate for you. But anyway, you gotta go upstairs for a minute, okay? So I can go through these. All right, love you.
Mom.
Love you. You better go upstairs. I'll see you later. Oh, hey, can you say thank you, by the way, since you're right there? Hey, little one. Hey, come here for 1 second. You did have two. So they said, hey, well, since you're here, maybe that you would read these two. Come here. So
Mom's upstairs. Mom's
there's
upstairs.
Paula. Can you say thank you to Paula?
Thanks, Paula,
They
but
asked,
Mom's
hey, wait.
upstairs.
Okay. Well, they asked, who is your favorite K-pop demon hunter?
Rumi and Dobby.
Rumi and oh man, oh my goodness.
Don't talk about my shirt.
Rumi Derby, don't tell him about your shirt. Why not? What happened to your shirt?
About the last time.
Oh, you talking about where you got it caught on something? He's like, no, don't tell you. You mean when you got it caught and it got ripped? Yeah, your brand new shirt. That stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It did. You know.
Don't say.
Yeah. Well, that did stink though. You saved up money. You got you a shirt, right?
Yeah.
You
But there's a bunch of double shirts, right?
Yeah. Well, there are other ones, but I mean, you know, it did suck though. You had it for what, a week, and then it got ripped. It got ripped twice. She got caught on something that ripped it. And you're like, oh no. All right, but okay. Hey, can you say thank you to Janice too? Thank you, she said. Yeah, that's for Bug and Lug for whatever they want. Well, thank you. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. She's so funny there. Yeah, Paula said, wait, with all the lawsuits BBB got LP into that got dropped and now being sued for, could BBB? Yes, it depends on how he approached her and stuff. She may well have a case for something. We'll see how that plays, but yeah, she may well. I mean, looking at the approach, the promise, certain things that happen. Again, you know, I mean, I've seen some crazy inadequate counsel ones, crazy ones. It really does. And, you know, she knows all the secrets too. He's probably convinced her that he knows all her secrets, which is true. But she knows all the stuff like he had done as well. I was shocked when they said, God, I can't remember the total anymore. What was that total they said that the expert witness cost? What was it, like $15,000 or something crazy? You know, because we looked on the website and it was like $3,500 to $5,000, something like that. And they posted something talking about the expense, and it was over 10 grand. I can't remember the number. I'd have to look. I've got notes with it. I don't remember if somebody can remember it right off the bat, but I thought, oh my God, because 2L messed up and said, yeah, Bruce paid for that. 14, was that what it was? 14, Tizzy. I can't recall right off the top. I'd have to go back and look, but it was an insane amount of money. I thought, you know, again, if you had somebody that was going to, if they had already shown up for something, they do get travel and they have arrangements. But this dude, like, he wasn't even, there's no way they would even be sworn in. So the idea that he was paid $14,000, my God, I would love to see some proof of that. But that was posted. Actually, no, it wasn't posted. It was somebody had a conversation with her and it got leaked online. It was some I never heard of. I can't remember. And I believe she called it out or something. But she said that too. She also confirmed that too. So it was 14. That does sound right, Ketchup. And thank you, Tizzy. Thank you, Ketchup. But $14,000. But they said that Bruce had been comped through fundraising. And I was like, well, there was no fundraiser for $14,000. So that would have had to come out of the big money, you know? And if it did come out, if they've used that for case comp in any way, shape, or form, they've been saying publicly that, again, that money was only for 3 projects. If they have ever used it for anything else, anything, that is a lie that they utilize to weaponize against LP. So, I mean, you think about it, it'll be miraculous. All of it will be to watch fall apart. But Jada, thank you, first of all. Dropped a gifted membership to Ride From Go. Thank you for that. Love it. Appreciate it. Sets that tone too. Thank you. Fallen Hero, what's up, my friend? How you doing? Thank you for dropping that too. And again, thank you as always. All you folks, man. Jada, I love the happiness there. It's great. I love it. Fallen Hero, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Wife Duck, thanks for the 5 there. Did you this morning? Oh yeah, you waved as you drove through Tennessee on your way back to South Carolina. Had to be home and back to the routines. Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah, I saw the wave, by the way. I was like, oh my God, I almost shot the I almost did the 3-finger salute or 3rd finger salute, but then I was like, no, that's somebody I know. And I waved. No, I'm just playing. I appreciate you. I love it. Tracy dropped 10 in giftos as well. Look at that. This is awesome there. Thank you, Tracy. Like I said, I love gifted memberships because, yes, it helps the channel. But on top of it, it says to people, yo, you're part of something. So thank you. Grandma Roo, thank you for that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for that membership and welcome to Tug's Thugs. And thank you. I love it. I love saying that. So I'm very happy I got to say it. Thank you. Weed Toes busted out. Weed Toes West Coast. Thank you for that freaking membership there. And to say that, I almost like saying that as much as I like saying Wheat Toast. Wheat Toast West Coast. Sounds good. I love it. Ale, what's up? Thanks to the 2. The Blue Oyster Club. Yeah, indeed. Oh, man. I'm what the heck is that? Give me 1 second here. Somebody was I'm checking something real fast. Oh my God. Here, like in the chat, a direct message from Florida Outlaw Chapter. Keep our names out of your mouth. Better look over my shoulder. Oh, fuck yourself. You bunch of losers. I swear. A bunch of ecosystemers trying to scare people and pretend. You know, they were trying to pretend to be the mafia at one time, too. You know what? Cowards. Cowards. If you want to step to me, you know where I live. You guys have known all the time. You just know. Like I said, I live in the deep south. My doorbell does reload. And I'm always strapped. Always. So you want some of me, you know where to find me. I'm not hiding. Like I said, I use an avatar because people focus on what I say. Oh, but they always hide. They're like, oh, I hope we can intimidate you. You can't intimidate shit. You better step to somebody else because you sure ain't intimidating me. All you do is motivate me. Every time you try to intimidate me, you just motivate me. I love it, though. I love it when they try, like I said, to pretend like they're mafia or there's some outlaw bikers. You know what? I've known some rough and ragged mofos in my life. You know, I've talked sometimes about life before, and I've known some people that, yeah, you know, they're not like this cleaned up, organized idea of crime that these folks have. I mean, it makes me laugh because the scary bikers, they're going to come into my they're going to come into my chat. Woo, boy, they're really outlaws, aren't they? They're hanging out listening to my stream. Oh my God, what a bunch of losers. So pretending to be, we're such outlaw bikers. Oh, Fats, man, you already tried this before. You tried to scare me before. You threatened to dox people around me. And you know what I say? Shut the fuck up, man. You know, if you got some, come down here. You know where I live. I'm not afraid of you, dude. Like I said, when it goes to federal court, I'll be there too. I'll be there too. Why don't you step up, you know? Why don't you, again, I love it when people pretend to be men. You know, it's easy to pretend that as long as there's not the kryptonite they're so scared of, being served. They talk a big game. Oh, yeah, we're all ready for the court. But do they ever step up? Do they ever do anything? No. Again, they act like gossipy little girls, Oh, I'm going to do this. We're going to get together and write an article that 6 people, they're going to see. And those 6 people, well, that's actually me and my friend. And our 4 sock puppet accounts. Oh, what's scary, guys. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Allie. By the way, I saw it sent over to me. Apparently, I had a message trying to scare me. let me pull that up for you. Actually, oh my God, I love it. Thank you, by the way, to the person that sent that over. I do appreciate them too. I love the fact that there was always somebody trying to pretend to be scary. Oh, I love it. Give me 1 second. I'm milling it over to me. I love that they try to intimidate you, though. Man, I've been doing this a long time. And you know what? All these people who think they're boogeymen, again, they may be able to threaten little girls. Oh, they're gonna dox little girls. That's what they resort to. It's always that way. But at the end of the day, These people, see, we had a real message in here, like a real one. What's really funny is that we had a real message, I think, from somebody that was saying, look, these people better keep our names out of their mouth. And then after that, they had a fake one come in that I think was one of these weirdos like Paint Chips or somebody. And you know why? Because they always use like a tail on that. So I'm looking at the exchanges before. I had somebody send me, so I think I understand what happened now. It makes it even funnier. I think we had somebody come in and say, yo, you better keep our names out of your mouth. Because you know what? We actually, we're out here, my relative, like they were buried with colors and everything else. So you had somebody saying, these people better keep that out of there. Then you had one of these losers come in and try to pretend to be just like that person and make a threat for me. Maybe that first person scared them and they were like, oh my God, actually it was a threat toward Tug. No, I think that was a discussion towards you, loser. I think they were talking to you, Paint Chips. That's funny, guys. That's really funny. I love it. I love the fact that they were put in their place and then they had somebody try to redirect, because I've seen 2 messages now. I was like, why is this one obviously like one of the Paint Chips weirdos? Or are they trying to be like, Tug, you better? Because it was a message. It was like, Tug, you better. Man, it will not pull up. I was going to show you the Tug, you better. But apparently there was a message before that, I believe, directed toward them. And again, the person can clarify that. But there was one that, I won't note the who, but it, again, was during the, they're stupid. That was like, why did they cut off their message, though? But it was telling them to look over their shoulders. I think that's funny. And then they got a sock puppet. They came in and it was like, Tongue, you better look over your shoulders. Like I said, I don't intimidate. I don't care. I'm not scared of anyone. Ultimately, like I said, I've known some pretty scary people in my life. Paint Chips and his crew. Paint Chips, for one thing. I mean, ultimately, do you think that guy is linked up with any real outlaw bikers? I mean, honestly, he's like, my outlaw biker friends, they're going to come and they're going to beat up this lawyer. Do you think this is the one thing? And see, when you look at this, do you think, honestly, that bikers, one of the things I've noticed from people outside the bounds of the law, let's say. One of the things they don't respect, they may put in work for somebody that would pay them, but they don't respect people that, again, they can't do their own thing. Like, what a bunch of, like a coward again. And, what I really think is funny is Paint Chips. This isn't the first time he's played this game. He did it with the Mafia. He was bringing up Mafia names and trying to be like, you better sleep with a Glock under your pillow because people are coming for you. And it's like, dude, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't mention these folks. Maybe you shouldn't mention like biker associations and stuff, because ultimately, when you're throwing around people like Prattle, what's going to happen sometimes? Maybe they'll take offense to that. And I hope it one day does get back to one of these groups, that these losers and trying to intimidate folks bring up groups that they obviously have no association with, and they try to use them to intimidate other people. I would love that. Yeah, this waddling fat loser, this extortionist, blackmailer, this guy who threatened to chop his ex-wife up into little pieces, and many other things that he decided that he would send around. The guy that, again, he thinks he's a man because he can hide behind other people and get them to do the work. Ugh. Anyway, I'm going to quit ranting like these people. I do dislike them. I think they're a punchline. I think the ecosystem is. Because, again, they try to utilize the names of other folks. And I think somebody might have scared them out there. Because I think at the end of the day, if they ever have somebody step up and figure out that they're utilizing their names, holy shit. I think that'll tear them out. Anyway, William, thanks for the 5. Bikers don't like people like Paint Chips. Yeah, actually, I didn't even notice you said that. Who can't fight their own fights. Yes, indeed. That's the thing. That is an absolute. Again, that's not saying somebody, you couldn't find some jackass out there that might do harm and be an associate. The people like it's just like the mob. When I heard these people saying, like when he said he was an associate of the mob, that means nothing. There are criminals that the mob shakes down and they consider them theirs. Oh, this guy's a cash cow. I'll quote unquote protect him. And my protection costs him money. You understand? They're not friends. They're not associates. They're cash cows. And other places may see them like that too. But they definitely do not appreciate people that they bring nothing to them. They just, again, in fact, potentially they bring negatives to their names. Like, of course, they're not going to appreciate that. There's a lifestyle that goes with the thing is, Paint Chips is no more part of that lifestyle than anybody he threatens is part of that lifestyle. So pretending that he has the weight of that is so dumb. Like you said, people like that, they don't appreciate, they don't appreciate not just people who can't fight their own fights, but people who would throw around their names as basically a weapon for them, hoping they'll intimidate somebody. What a bunch of creepers. And again, he mails stuff like that all the time. That's the wild thing. He's like, oh, yeah, I got these buddies. They're going to show up and they're going to get you, lawyer. Oh, Lord. Travis, thanks for that. Being from that world briefly, you don't call biker outlaw biker. Yeah. You don't call them outlaw bikers, biker gangs. That would get your ass kicked. Yeah, more likely than someone else's. Yes, indeed. Indeed. That's the other thing. Oh, my God. You can tell when these people they're tourists to a lifestyle. And I'm not saying that I'm in that lifestyle either or anything. I'm just saying you can tell they're not either, for sure. That's why it doesn't, when a Paint Chips is like, oh, that's scary. Yeah, no, you're not scary. You're not. And I think it's funny somebody told them, and like I said, it probably scared them under one of their sock accounts while they were listening so bad that they had to try to pick up the pieces and be like, "Oh, Tug, I'll get you." Trying to pretend it wasn't them potentially being called out. Oh my God, I love it. Oh, my days are fun some days. I really do enjoy it sometimes. What's up to the sheep? Thank you for the vibe there. Kia or a hello. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Your avatar name change. Yeah, it's Sneaky Sheep. Yeah, I knew it was Sneaky Sheep. I said that yesterday. I'm glad you said something too. I knew it. Yeah. So Sneaky Sheep, what happened is, again, there will be people that notice this often, like they'll just run into it. So what happened is there were so many fake accounts out there pretending to be like, you know, like a YouTuber. Like there would be thousands of umbrella guys, right? In my own freaking comments and stuff. We've been complaining about it forever. And YouTube, even when they would try to do something, they wouldn't be able to stop it because people could name themselves. You know, they may not be able to name themselves exactly that umbrella guy, but they could come close. Now, you know, with this, we can see the @ for the person. And you can only create that app so closely. So you could change yours up. You can change your @ to Sneaky Sheep. And even if it's taken, you could add something, you know, and make it interesting. But that's why it's showing different there. But yeah, for sure. You know, I'm from New Zealand, speaks for itself. I like it. I think it's funny. You know, I love it there. Love to you for and girls. Yes, indeed. I appreciate you too. I always love Sneaky Sheep. I knew it was Sneaky Sheep before there. Yeah, there you go. So you fix it. I'm back, baby. Sheep is in the house. There it is. Sneaky Sheep. Z. I love it. Thank you. I see that there. What's up, Maestro? Thank you for the 2 there. Waiting for the anti-ecosystem to explode. They really, you know, they have been. They've been having implosions. I mean, you notice like these days, for example, I don't see Bruce around a lot with 2L in the gang since they absolutely like tried to destroy his reputation. They were talking about him, you know, not being there for them and all this other stuff. And I don't see him popping up. You know, they went after him. They talked a lot of smack about him. And again, he made them, no matter what I would think about Bruce or any antics, he built them up. They were nothing without him. And they threw him under the bus the first chance they got. And they did it publicly. They didn't complain privately. They complained very publicly about him. So I think that we've seen implosions. We've seen implosions with the 2L and LP. I think they've tried to do some damage control, just like we just saw. We'll see. We'll see. I think it'll get worse, though. I think you're right. Yeah, it's good to see you, Sneaky Sheep, too. You were actually, I went out of order, so that's why I clicked on you again. I'm glad that I fixed that. The floofs, thanks for the 2 there. Again, thank you. Overlord, send the greetings. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It was good. You saw how excited she loves the floofy, by the way. Patrick, thanks for 15 months. The poly mop, a mop that desires to flop inside many buckets. There you go. It enjoys a variety of textures. Each bucket and its content fill every strand of the mop protrudes into the bucket. Man, we're starting to get some frisky mop time. That's funny. Thank you. Tracy also, thank you again for the lip gloss money. I appreciate that. Andre, thank you too. Candy money there. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Wishful She Devil, thanks for the 15 months. A polymop is a mop that wants multiple mops or buckets, depending on its taste. There we go. You know, I always thought it was like a mop that, you know, it was like, well, I'm into mops, but I'm also into sponges. And, you know, I really like I really like brooms. You know, it's just like I don't really know. But yeah, it could be all the mops that you get to. It's a terrible name. It is, because it seems like it would have some other connotation, right? The floofs. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, she is funny though. The little one coming down was very entertaining. I'm glad she got to pop in. Snicky, thanks for the 5. Tug, I love that you show your girls all creatures are cool. Yes, indeed. That's one of the things there. When I grew up, so you said I big smile, a spider and a reptile there when I was younger. To my mom's dismay. Yeah, indeed. I see another part of that too. I was once, thank you also for the additional vibe there too. I was once gifted a spider I once gifted a spider to my teacher, wrapped it up, matchbox, box, made a card, everything. Let's just say the love was not reciprocated. It's hilarious. Well, for myself, I have always liked, just everything in wildlife. I'm a Southern boy through and through. So I used to spend my days after school. We had, what I'm sure you've heard, a holler, a big ravine beside our house. Well, we used to go out every day and we would run these. I mean, they would go on forever. And I would go out on weekends. We'd hunt whatever we could find. We had a guy down the road, like he eats snakes. So we would catch him snakes that he would do his thing with. Let's just say he would cook them up. But also, I mean, I've always liked wildlife. If I find something out like a snake or anything, I've always found it interesting and cool. I was never taught to be afraid of things. And I always appreciated that. I was taught respecting, the respect of you run across a rattlesnake, you respect it. You know better. That timber rattler, yeah, it gets into you. You might have a problem, but you don't have to be afraid of it. You have to understand it. And if you understand it, well then, like this little banded boy right here, that I've got. He was, so this is a rescue too. The little snake I picked up is a rescue. He was abandoned in somebody's home. They had him probably very young as a hatchling. He was very lucky to survive. He was in rough shape when he was picked up. He got to a certain point, and but the whole time, he's never learned fear of humans. He eats very well. He seems very happy to eat. He appreciated, probably because he went without. So, but he's not afraid of humans at all, and he's not startled. Like a lot of snake, even if a snake has been well maintained, usually if you move fast, their startle reflex will come up. Well, this one, even if you startle it, it doesn't get upset, or it hasn't. I've never seen it, and the people that had it, never seen it. But it was lucky to be alive, and like I said, it was abandoned in a home. People sometimes when they abandon their house, they'll abandon pets, dogs and cats. They have a chance, but animals like a snake or a spider, oftentimes they don't. They just, unfortunately, they die, and even afterwards, they never recuperate. Though this one's doing good, I like that. I used to go out and find turtles and other things. My grandfather, my step grandfather too, they would raise cows. I'd find turtles, where they get near like a pond. Cows would, they step on them every now and then, and a big turtle can take it. It'd just be stepped on and pushed into mud. But every now and then you find like a little turtle, and it hurt them, crack their shells and stuff. We'd take them home, and we'd let them mend where nothing would eat them, and oftentimes they'd rebound. So I just got used to that. Like I said, I grew up as a little bitty. I just run around all day. Like I remember when I was 7, I lived in a place in Smartt, Tennessee that had 80 acres of land, and there were no humans. It was a creepy place in some ways. I think that house itself, there was something weird about it. I've told about it before, but the land itself was amazing. And since there were no people around, I would trudge all over. I wasn't supposed to go as far as I did, but I would. You better believe it. I got a BB gun when I was, I got a BB pellet gun when I was 7. And I thought I was You know, I thought it was king shit. I'd run around with that thing. You know, I thought I could stop anything, and I'd do whatever I wanted to. I catch snakes and turtles and watch the wildlife. It was amazing. But anyway, appreciate you too. Appreciate the stories. Love it. Spin Doctor, thanks for the 20 there. I'm allergic to cats. Indifference to the floofy overdoors and the bug over my tree. Thank you, Spin Doctor, by the way. Man, I'll have to note that to the little one too. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you too. It is good to see you, Spin Doctor, as well. The floofy. I like this by Keena Michelle, by the way. It's Michelle's birthday today. She's a dedicated lurker. She's turned 74. You know what I thought when you said when you said Michelle, I thought you meant the other Michelle. I don't know why, but when I read it, I thought you meant like Michelle Preston's birthday. I was like, holy crap. Did somebody ask Michelle Preston for a birthday song? You know what? I'm glad. You know what? I love you guys. You know why I do? People like yourself. They teach me a valuable lesson. And that is that some of you out there, I've heard that name used in such a terrible way that I'm glad there are people out there that can take it back for me. You know what? So I don't know why. Like, it's been a long day. So when I read it, I thought, Michelle Preston has a birthday today. Oh my God. Let's sing her a song. Hell yeah. Oh my God. I should critically read things from now on. But I really did. I thought that's what you said. I thought, oh my God, it's Michelle Preston's birthday. Shit, yeah, I'll give her a Gollum song. Oh my God, it's so dumb. But no, I appreciate you guys. And like I said, one of the things I do love, there are people out there like Richards that I'm running across that are like, yo, this guy is paint chips. And I'm like, you're right. You know what? And Michelle is LP or Preston. That's right. You know, so again, I think that's a beautiful reminder there too. You know, it's just like other names. They know they don't get to fall to that. So let's give some love here. I love it. I appreciate you. Let's see. 1 second. I absolutely need a good birthday song too. You know, we need it for you.
Happy birthday.
What's
From both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true.
Heck yeah.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
I love it. I absolutely love it, man. I love having a birthday song too. I do. Thank you again. Appreciate you. Hale, thanks for the 20 there. Appreciate it. Tug giggles make me smile. I know I get laughing sometimes, man. It just it cracks me up. Yeah, I was told to tell people about the turtle rescue, the real turtle rescue. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, I brought home a turtle one time though, like a big freaking turtle. Well, it was a tiny turtle at one time. It had been stepped on, cracked its shell. I brought it. I couldn't leave it out because predators would get to it. So I got a big freaking 55-gallon. And that thing got huge, you know. It was actually a yellow belly slider. And I also picked up a snapping turtle that had been treated the same way. And God, that snapping turtle got huge. You know, I found there were not ponds like you don't put turtles in a pond that they're not in, but there was a pond where it was all that was turtles anymore because they'd overran that pond. So I ended up taking the big snapper because there were a bunch of snappers in it. And then finally out to it. But you know, you can't release something that's never been in the wild into something normal. So I'm glad also you asked, by the way, what her favorite K-pop demon hunter was, I'm glad you asked, because gosh, she could talk for hours about K-pop Demon Hunter. So she probably loved that. Janice also, thank you. I appreciate that too. You know, what I've got to do is I've got to get that freaking shirt and replace it. So that's probably what'll happen. She was so upset about that shirt, man. She was. But she had just gotten it. She'd had it for about a week, really. Like, I think that was about the time. She had been wearing it as much as she could, you know, but right after she gets to wear it, her really second go with it, she catches it on, you know, where the stairwells, I don't remember what they call the piece on there, but you know, at the top, like with the banister tops, I can't think of what it is. They have that one little knobs and some of them, you know, when you walk off of it, her shirt caught it. Rip. It just made a mess of it. It was so sad too. Hey, I noticed, by the way, I'm going to say Kathleen, thank you for the 4 that was sent through PayPal too. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. You know, again, I'm not sure like how much with a name and stuff, so I go with first names. I used to only say initials, but I started going with first names. I don't think that hurts anything, unless you say it, like you say something in the body there. Then I'll say that. Hey, what's up, Dare? By the way, appreciate you. Good to see you, man. Thank you for the 5 giftos too. Thank you for being here too. Appreciate you as always. And like I said, I love the gifted memberships. Travis, thanks for the 26 months. Hey, I'm listening to your chat. I was part of that lifestyle with Buck Tug. I'm glad I'm out of that world and clean, but not sober. I enjoyed the night. Indeed. You know, I'm sure, I don't know also if you got to see, so mods will see certain things. And I don't know with the screenshot of the tug one, I saw one of the mods sent over the original screenshot where somebody was like, yeah, don't dump on that. But I'm curious, like I can't tell if the other one, I would love, like I said, to identify the account that decided to be like Tug, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that it was a sock account for one of these morons, because that's the way they are. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I've known people, like, again, I'm not in any way, shape, or form claiming that I've been in any lifestyle, but I've known some pretty not nice people, let's just say, over time. That's also why people like Paint Chips don't scare me. Did he go to prison? Sure. But he's a fucking fraudster, you know? He's somebody that, again, when the paint chips were down, he had somebody else that had to put in the work. And that's what he's trying to threaten now, but no way. No way at all. Drew, you're right. Thanks for the fun there. Paint Chips, pals. The Black Widows. Right, Charlie. They'll outlaw... Outlaw backers. They can get me. It's so dumb, man. I love it. Shizzy, thanks for the vibe. That umbrella guy I found in the club. They want to send a step up to you. It's the Girl Scouts. Yeah, hey, they're dangerous, man. Beware those thin men peddlers. They're scary, dude. I don't know if I'm going to cross the Girl Scouts. You know, they are tied into the real scary organizations, you know, like Walmart. You know, I'm to bop it. Thanks for the 5 there. Now, Tug, it is well known that outlaws love people blabbing about their business and name dropping them for clout. Yes, indeed. That's what I hear. You know what I loved? It was the same thing with the mob, you know, after we made fun of Paint Chips and his indictments. You know what Paint Chips decided? He was going to write an article about, oh, the mafia is going to get you, you know, and he's name dropping and shit. And I thought, yeah, I'm sure that if there's anybody left from that right there, I'm sure they're going to come out here, you know, from New York. They're going to come out to the deep south and be mad at me, not mad at the dumbass that freaking brought them up over and over again. Sure. What a crazy. But yeah, you're right there. They love it when they do that, right? Say smoking gas. Look at that, by the way. I love it. Thanks for the new avatar. Love you. I appreciate you there. I saw Smoking Cat. Then I was like, hit me up. I'm gonna make some new avatars. I just wanted to. I thought they were funny. So I I made about 4. I don't know. It cracked me up. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sending it over because it was a lot of fun. What's up, Andrea? Thank you for the follow there. The Ohio Magistrate. Well, not, but with with the shit like for many of them. Yes. I couldn't believe they put her in their article. And again, Michelle Preston, she's bookended in this. See, this is the funny thing about it. So in the article where they put a picture of her around her at the top of the article, they put in an interview with Michelle Preston and John Cook talking about everything with the protective order, including how the magistrate didn't want him talking about it. And then underneath, they talk about the protective order and how Bruce actually wrote opposing counsel and was threatening them and stuff. Fun times, right? Fun times. Hey, what's up? How you doing? It is good to see you. I have not seen you in a while. So it's good to see you. Yeah. Just wanted to say, hey, miss you, bud. Well, hey, it is good. Like I said, it's good to see you. We'll have to get together and goof off for a minute, like do a stream or something. Come on, catch up. I've been covering this for a while. Like I said, this is my, I'm going to say my addiction. I love this case so much. I can't think of anything else. Like it's so crazy. I feel like all of my need to cover things, it's all here. Angela Quinn, thanks for the 5. I knew there was a sheep missing on the way to the beach. It's our sneaky sheep. Indeed. I thought it was funny that when the avatar changed over, I saw Sneaky Sheep the other day, and I was like, I couldn't, for some reason. I was like, sheep. I couldn't, Sneaky wouldn't come to me for some reason. And it finally did. But I was like, I know you. It's driving me nuts. Damn Sneaky Sheep. Love it. Very sneaky. What's up, Shelly? Happy birthday to me. You're the best. Hey, let me bust you out a freaking song because you need it. Oh, I love it. I love birthday songs. I do. It puts me in a great mood to do them. So
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
Very healthy, productive years. That's right. Somebody's going to be like, you got me with immortality, Doug. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. And thank you. Thank you for being here. I love to celebrate birthdays with you folks. So thank you. Gamer Jackie, thanks for that. In Appalachia. Being in Appalachia, you have creepy experiences. Yeah, I've had a few. I've had a few. I've had some wildlife creepy ones. I've had some people creepy ones. I've had some very strange experiences. I told people about my werewolf experience. People are like, this is, again, I don't know what it was, but that was the first thing I thought. But I've had my run-in with a boar experience. I thought it was funny. I knew 2 New Yorkers that moved here, and they bought property in, let's just say, a very removed locale. They were very happy because it was cheap. They were showing it to me. It was like, you probably just bought land property that was repossessed by a bank in the middle of Deliverance land. You know, I mean, I'm talking about, you've seen the movies. They don't like outsiders. Like they don't like, to the point that area. I'm not calling out the area. I'm just gonna say that area would not want people that, like myself. I'm still an outsider, even though I live in Tennessee. I'm not from that specific area, so I'd be an outsider. They damn sure would not tolerate a New Yorker moving there. I was like, you don't want. Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Oh, I don't think they had a fun go of it. So, yeah. But yeah, I've had some crazy experiences. Animal ones. Gosh, I mean. I've had some wild boar. I've had one really bad wild boar experience. I got very lucky with that. You know, I got lucky it rained. Otherwise, I might have got really hurt. You know, we had some wild pigs. Wild pigs tear up everything too, but they are fast. Holy Lord, they are fast. I was crossing through a field one time, and you ever see pictures of like fields that are they're just grass as far as you can see, and people, they go through them. The grass is so tall, you're almost like wading through it. It's almost like wading through water. So I was going through this field, and I had a more elevated place where I was going through, and it dipped down, but it was high enough that I had a shotgun with me, and I had a couple of pistols, and I carried them. I was going to go check one out too. I'd been given a 44 autoloader by somebody, which is a heck of a weapon. And for some reason, I can't remember why now. It's been a long time ago. It's a long time, but I had a 38 special, and I have a shotgun. I always carry my shotgun. I always love that shotgun. But anyway, while I'm walking, I've got my shotgun above my head because I don't want this crap down in my shotgun. This stuff is, every time you walk through it, it bristles everywhere. I'm like, oh, gross. It's gonna get all up in my shotgun. It's gonna be a mess. I don't want that. So I'm carrying it like I'm wading through water. And at a distance lower than me, I can see something parting the grass. It reminds me of, like, if you ever seen a snake move through grass, it's kind of like that, except it's like head on and big. It's a big animal, you can tell. And it took me a minute to register what it is. Because you don't run into boar very often, but that's what it was. It was a freaking boar. Now, this thing was moving, and it was very aggressive, and there's nowhere to go. I was like, oh my God, there's nowhere to go. So, in order to clear that grass off, I turned my shotgun like just above me. I turn it around. It's a 12 gauge auto loader. So I turn it and just fire, and it blows that grass away, and I can see that freaking giant boar. Oh God. And in the moment, people always tell these stories where they're all like badasses and stuff. No, like for me, I reached over, and typically I'd have one pistol, and I'd be a big one and be able to deal with that thing. Well, I reached down and I grabbed the 38, and I fire at the boar. And boar, they have a plate on their skull that is so thick that it stopped those 38 rounds. One of them ricocheted off of it, just off of it, but it actually stopped one of the rounds too. And I fired quite a bit, and I fired this thing again. It's a cylinder gun, so it gets 6 shots, but not every round hits. But you do your best in the moment, but it didn't even slow it down. Now, I got lucky in that thing when it charged at me. Again, I would not. Here's something I want to note too. For animals, I try not to harm animals unless, like, when I was younger, we would hunt. Like, I'd hunt with my dad. I don't really hunt like anymore. And unless something is like if my mom, if she lived at a place, she used to live out in the middle of nowhere, and she'd get poisonous snakes around. Like, I might have to kill a couple of those every now and then, but a lot of times I catch them and move them, myself. But with a boar, man, there ain't nothing to deal with. That thing is going to kill you if it gets a chance. There was nowhere to go. But I ended up, luckily, when it was moving toward me, it was so heavy that it slipped. It couldn't move. I moved sideways, and its momentum carried it right up, and it just slid through the mud. And I was able to do something about it then. But Lord, that was a scary moment. What's up, kiddo? Hey, what's up, person that's not supposed to be down here? Oh, are you trying to pretend you're not here? Somebody's pretending they're not here. They slipped down here, but they're pretending they're not here. Oh, now they ran off. She was pretending she was like, "Shh, I'm not here." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you are." What? What does that mean? I don't know. I don't speak sign language. What does that mean?
That means that like you're doing an impression for me.
Oh yeah. I'm doing an impression of my daughter here. Yes, I'm doing a very good impression. Yeah, it's such a good impression. Yeah, you hear it? Oh my Lord, she's so funny. Hey kiddo, I'm almost done though, for real. Hey, go upstairs for a minute and I'll yell at you and we'll watch a show in a minute, okay?
And I'm
Almost
going.
I'm almost done.
Love you.
Love you too. I'll be done in a minute, okay? Almost done. Hey, come down here in 5 more minutes. Hey, come back in 5 minutes and then I'll be done, okay? All right? There's a lot more too. I'll tell you about them. James, thanks for the 2 there. 53 tomorrow. Might as well get a song. Not here tomorrow. Yes, indeed. If you're here tomorrow, remind me too. And we'll give one tomorrow too. But let's bust it out.
Happy birthday from both of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday. We love to have you here. Happy birthday. Here's to another year.
All right. That was awesome too. I love it. Like I said, I love being able to do birthday songs as well. But I hope that you have a great birthday, man. And go out and enjoy those days and celebrate yourself. One of the things, let me leave on this thought. All right. One of the things that we do not do is we don't take enough time to celebrate ourselves. We celebrate those that we care about. And, we take holidays and, holidays are about other people. You make them about that, and you should, of course, but you got to remember to take time to celebrate you too. So hopefully when your birthday comes up, do something you wouldn't. Indulge yourself a little bit, enjoy yourself. But I'm going to tonight, as with any Saturday night, I am going to push you over to Yellow Flash. Now, again, if you want to go have fun, that's a good place to have fun. If you get offended by things, that is not your place. But if you want to go over, no holds barred, have a bit of fun, I'm going to redirect you there. Like I said, I love it. Yellow Flash is good. So many of those guys are good people. They are. So you go have fun with that. I will be on earlier tomorrow. I'm figuring, I'll be on about 3 hours earlier. Yeah, I'll see you then.